Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Thank you for being an awesome pledgehammer on Patreon, the Mayor of Paynesville, Dan. Clash of Champions is tomorrow, and no, Clash of Champions isn't the mobile game, which is what my lady partner thought it was. Since last week, there's been even more craziness happening on Raw and SmackDown. More matches have been made. Stone Cold was on Raw, Undertaker was on SmackDown, people have been fired, debuts happened, so good God, there's some more rumors flying around. Well, fear not, because it's me, your boy Chopper, and I'm here to break it all down for you before Clash of Champions tomorrow. Before we get into it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell icon to enable notifications, and make sure to leave us a comment answering today's question of the day. And today that question is, how many championships do you think will change hands at Clash of Champions? And now let's begin with The Fiend Will Appear. Of all the rumors on this video, this is the one we can probably say is definitely going to happen maybe. As we know already, the winner of Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman at Clash of Champions will go on to face the fiendishly fiendful Bray Wyatt at Hell in a Cell. While Seth is very much the favorite to win the match, it's unclear whether he will do so cleanly or via some kind of disqualification as the result of an interference from the aforementioned Fiend. Bray loves to play with the lights and play the violin music in a spooky way, and a Universal Championship match at a pay-per-view feels like the ideal place for that sort of thing to happen, as it would push the Fiend character even more as an all-powerful and well-scary threat to the belt. Another theory is that Bray could try and cost Seth the win to try and set up a match with his former Wyatt family member Braun Strowman at Hell in a Cell. Giving Strowman the belt would allow WWE to do a mentor versus mentee storyline, not to be confused with a Mentos versus Manatee match, which is something completely different. Either way, you can be pretty sure that the Fiend will be making some kind of appearance at Clash of Champions to set up the Hell in a Cell match. And if his last pay-per-view appearance is anything to go by, gonna be pretty gosh darn good. Also, he made a surprise appearance at SmackDown this week in a dark match against the B Team, so it very much seems like he's becoming a bit more regular on the wrestling and in-ring side of things now too. Becky Lynch's reign will end. Let's face it, since winning both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships in the main event of WrestleMania 35, Becky Lynch hasn't exactly had the most stellar run with either belt. Defeating Lacey Evans and Natalya for the Raw title is hardly what you'd call the reign of a champion, but thankfully, that's in the past, and Becky seemingly has a genuine challenger in the form of a returning and very much heelish Sasha Banks. Banks is a 4-time Raw Women's Champion, so there is no doubt that WWE sees her as champion material, and it's looking like that she'll be a 5-time champ by the end of Clash of Champions on Sunday. It has been well publicized that WWE and Banks haven't been on the best of terms in 2019, but that WWE was desperate for her to return to TV despite their differences. So what did they say to her to convince her to come back? Well, if Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are anything to go by, they probably promised her a run with the championship if she agreed to return. The latest report from Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer is that Banks signed a new deal with WWE before WrestleMania earlier this year, so she's got a lot of time to kill before she can walk out the door if that is her plan. Furthermore, the latest promo videos and adverts for SmackDown Live on Fox all have Becky Lynch as a prominent character, so could she be one of the big names to move in the upcoming rumored draft? If she loses the belt on Sunday, it's almost guaranteed that she will. Having said all that, she's the face of WWE 2K20, and they wouldn't want to upset their partners because money! The OC will interfere. Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman will be defending their Raw Tag Team Championships against the team of Rudolph the Raw-Nosed Tag Team, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. This Franken team is a huge favorite to win the match among the bookies, and part of the reason for this is that pesky old OC of Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Gallows and Anderson have been the bane of the tag champs ever since they lost the belts on Raw a few weeks back. Just last week, the two teams brawled and took part in a 10-man tag match, so there's plenty of beef going around in the tag division. The theory making the rounds is that the OC will in some way cost Rollins and Strowman the match through some kind of interference, thus protecting the two men ahead of their Universal Championship match, but also allowing Dolph and Roode to win like the opportunistic heels they are. The OC might even then turn on Dolph and Robert to start the next Raw tag team feud, allowing Seth and Braun to go back to being single stars as they should be. Not losing clean allows Seth and Braun to stay strong heading into their match later in the night. But will it be the main event? A women's match will main event. Before we start this, I'll just say that this video is filmed earlier in the week on Wednesday, so WWE may have already announced the main event of the show. So please don't pepper the comments telling me how stupid, short, and handsome I am if that is the case. Since WrestleMania 35, the first ever WrestleMania to have a women's main event, all WWE pay-per-view shows have been headlined by a men's match. Even at Super Showdown, if you can believe such a thing. However, that could be all about to change, as there is speculation that Clash of Champions could be having a women's main event. The Four Horsewomen, or Centaurs to give them their proper name, have been feuding on both Raw and SmackDown, and they've both been pushed pretty hard, with all four women clashing on this week's Raw. It's thought that the four may team up together at the upcoming Survivor Series, so this would be an easy opportunity to push the idea further. Looking at the two women's matches, it would probably be Sasha versus Becky, simply due to star power and who WWE sees as being the bigger stars. Of course, the SmackDown match has Charlotte Flair in it, so that does put the first point into question, but SmackDown is the Yucky B show and would never be allowed to main event anyway. This is far from confirmed, particularly with a meaty Universal Championship match featuring Becky Lynch's fiance and a potential run-in from WWE ring announcer JoJo's boyfriend, but we shall see. Roman Reigns will lose. Now yes, last week I said that Roman would win, and comfortably. However, there's been more chatter doing the wrestling rounds, so now that may come into question. Roman Reigns has the honor of going one-on-one with the man who retired The Rock at WrestleMania 32 in just 6 seconds, Roman. That's what happened, right? Because of this, it's no surprise that Big Red Roman is expected to take home the victory. He completely obliterated Roman and his former scout leader Daniel Bryan on SmackDown Live a couple of weeks back, and it's no secret that WWE officials feel that he has big superstar potential hidden away in that beard somewhere. When I say expected, I mean that he's expected to win, but then again, he's also having a match with Roman Reigns, so no one should ever really be expected to win that. Roman could quite easily spear him in a few seconds and win to set up a later feud with Daniel Bryan, but here at WrestleTalk, we're always optimistic about WWE building new stars, even if it is Eric Rowan. Once again, we need to factor in the whole WWE 2K20 cover star argument, as WWE tends to not book its cover stars to lose in the build-up to a game release. But hey, times may have changed, and you never know what they could be planning. Having Rowan, the man who attempted to murder Roman on at least 2 occasions, who's just now split off from Daniel Bryan for a big singles push, to have him immediately lose would be apocalyptically stupid, but also something that WWE would definitely do. Also, Roman Reigns didn't even compete at SummerSlam, so perhaps there's more to the story of them not booking their 2K20 cover stars too strong. Seth Rollins will retain. I know we spoke about the Fiend interfering earlier, but that may well not happen until after the match. Bray is a lot like Voldemort in the way that he only interferes once the school year, or in this case, the match, is over. He also has several Horcruxes and looks like a snake. Andy Datson wrote this script. I wonder how you can tell. At this point in the show, it's likely that Seth and Braun won't be Raw Tag Team Champions anymore, and so will be completely focused on the task at hand of the Universal Championship. If it does go to a clean finish, it's an exceptionally difficult match to book. Seth has just beaten Brock Lesnar for the 2nd time in a year to win the belt, but Braun has lost his shots to the title more often than I've been told it's my birthday, so he really shouldn't be losing again. That's the same joke as last week, Datson, pull it together, man. Either way, the odds on this match have Seth very much as the favorite, so I may as well stop speculating about who I think is going to win. While Braun versus The Fiend is a better storyline, having The Fiend defeat someone like Seth for the belt would make more sense in building The Fiend as the unstoppable force he needs to be for the next 3 centuries. Lastly, I just think that Seth would be able to sell The Fiend's offense more effectively than Braun. Basically, I'm just trying to convince myself that Seth is winning. WWE will discredit Chris Jericho. AEW World Champion Chris Jericho also happens to be the person with the most WWE Intercontinental Championship reigns, with 9. An awful lot of bubbly. The person with the 2nd highest amount of reigns in history is The Miz. Does The Miz have any IC Championship matches coming up that would allow him to match Jericho's record and therefore allow WWE commentators to put over Miz as the most decorated IC champion of all time? Of course he does. And it's against Shinsuke Nakamura, a man that WWE has proved it doesn't care about, so why wouldn't they take the belt off him? Nakamura is also rumored to be leaving WWE as soon as his contract runs out, something that is thought to be happening in the not too distant future. Despite what everyone in WWE wants you to think, the promotion is very much at war with AEW and is likely willing to do everything possible to try and get one over on the new promotion. So having Miz tie Jericho's record would be a very easy way of giving AEW a quick middle finger. But those, of course, were just the rumours and the speculation. We'll be finding out a lot more come tomorrow when the show airs. Before you go, make sure to press the videos to my right to catch up with the latest WrestleTalk and Screenstalker things, and press the like, subscribe, and bell icon too. I've been Chopper Pete Quinnell, and that was wrestling.